Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Been here from EWPRO. Getting straight into the weekly outlook, starting with the DXY on the daily. Nothing's changed on the daily. We're looking in here, well, in this particular place here, to see if we're going to get any more upside to break these two highs here, or we get that C down from here. Looks like the non-farm payroll was pretty bad, so USD has deteriorated over the last 24 hours. We still have to be very careful here because we have a bullish hidden divergence here. Yeah, can't really go off of that. Sort of be looking on the lower time frames to find a correction. So it looks like we're in a wave 3 on the H1. We get like 1, 2, 3. You wait for that wave 4, and you could look for a wave 5 down. You on the daily, we're looking for this. I've been mentioning the last few weeks, this is looking very much bullish. We're looking for that C up. It's starting to go now. I haven't liked this correction in here. On the H4, we got those 5 up. Then we had this like 1, 2, 3 in here. That's the low there. We had that nice impulse up, and then it comes straight back down. Sort of looking bullish over here. It's very similar to AU now. But yeah, it has broken this top now. It's very difficult to get in this. Like I said, we had, if you remember back, we had that nice impulse up, and I was just looking for a correction in here. Instead, we got that very deep correction. So this is quite choppy. We are getting a lot of bearish divergence. So how far this goes, I would really like to see it at least break this ending point of wave A. Ideally, it gets up to the 100 fib here, but we'll see. GU, it's been looking for this wave C up here, this A, B, C as well, up to that 100 fib. The H4, we did have the 5 up, and I was looking for a larger correction in here. We sort of did get a complete correction with this, what we were looking for in here, this like A, B, C. We did come from a low. It was very choppy in here for a while before it took off. So here we got like a 1, 2, 3. You wait for that wave 4, and you can look for that wave 5 up, ideally breaking any point of the wave Z over there. EU on the daily, would have really liked this to come down and break that low for that possible A, B, C, that flat we had here. It's turned around, and it's pretty much doing the way I was looking at it first, when we had that A, B, C in here, and I was looking for the C there. It looks like it's starting to go. We had the 5 up on the H4 on this as well. This was turning into like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was very deep to this whole impulse here. So yeah, it has gone. But yeah, again, very difficult to get in because after these 5, we did have a lower low over here. So, I was just looking for an A, a B, and a C up, and then possibly another 5 down. So it was very difficult to get in. I think there was a buy in there, but yeah, it's very difficult to get in actually. NU is one that I was looking at. One of the better ones to trade last week. If you go back through my video, looking for that A, B, and we get a C up in here. The H4, we got the 5 up, and we got a correction in here. And yeah, it's going this already. So, I mean, really, you have to wait for a correction before you can get in. Because if we go down to the M15, for example, you'll see that we've already got bearish divergence. We're already starting to get this bearish divergence. Excuse me. Had that 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 up. So yeah, it's going to be difficult to get in, but yeah, pretty much if you wait for you really need a correction on the H1. That's the problem. You really need to start to see a correction on the H1 and then look for your buy. So that would be my advice. Wait for a H1 correction and then look for buys on the lower time frame after you see the correction completing. UY's kept on going. In this wave Z, we still have all that bearish divergence on the daily. I'm really only looking for sells. Hasn't been giving us those sell setups, so have just been like buy scalps pretty much. And even now, it's broken the top again, so we're getting even more bearish divergence on the H1. The only way I can trade this is for a sell. I mean, this on the daily, this wave Z may keep on going for a long time. We don't know. But I'm more interested in a sell at these levels with the bearish divergence on the daily, bearish divergence on the H4, bearish divergence on the H1. I'm really only looking for sells, and I really only want to take sells. We may be getting an opportunity here. I mean, it's on the lower time frame, and I don't really want to go into it too much, give too much away how we trade. But we have an impulse down here. This is looking rather corrective, so you could look for at least an A, B, C, and if you're lucky, it takes off and really falls over. I don't believe the USD is going to become too weak until the Fed start cutting the interest rate. I don't really see the USD coming down all that much, but when you get these sell opportunities at the highs on the daily, you want to start taking them because they can turn quite profitable. USD Japan, I'm looking at all this as a B, and we get an A, B, C, some sort of a large flat before we get more upside. Nothing's changed there for a very long time. Again, I'm only really looking for sells, but on the H4 we got that like WXY, so you can wait for an X2 over here and get a Z up. It's not giving it nicer setup as the GY, this one. And this one is quite difficult as well, because there is a chance that we have a bull hidden here between that low and that low. So there is a chance that this goes up again and breaks that top with that bull hidden there present. You can't trade it. It's not tradable to trade that, but yeah, the M15, there's not really much going on. It's more of an A, a B, and a C up, and then you get an A, B, and a C. So, yeah. USD CAD, not really going to go over this much at all. This is extremely choppy in here. Whatever's happening in here is more bullish, but I'm not liking it at all. I haven't liked it ever since we didn't get that wave Z up. Over here, we're looking for that wave Z, that WXYX2 and that Z up. We never got that, and we're just in a massive big correction here. Really can go either way. There's nothing clear on the daily, and you're pretty much scalping on the lower time frames. It's extremely, excuse me, at this point in time, it's extremely risky. I mean, over here, we were looking for that C up to that 100 fib. That target's hit now, and it's just sticking around. You know, that 100 fib's holding pretty much. Getting some sort of a range here, you know. So you really want to see what side it breaks out before you start trading it. It's not nice at all. You'll get cut to pieces trading it. The Swissy, been waiting for this correction in this B wave. After that, we can look for buys. That's meant to be on the H1. Oh. Looking at that possible flat, you know, it did become a little bit larger than this one over here, but I'm looking at a WXY X2 and we get a Z down. This can also be a buy. Well, it depends after this. If I go down to the lower time frame, you'll see what I'm looking at. We may still get a wave 5 up here. It's looking less and less likely after the non-farm payroll numbers. But I still would be looking for a buy until this low here is broken. We have a excuse me, we have a bull hidden here, so I'm looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get a fifth one up to the targets, that 123.6 and the 161.8, the second target. So there is a chance that we still get another one up here. But in saying that, if this is the invalidation point for that wave 5, price comes down below here, you know, it's more of a sell then, because then we'll be looking for a sell setup if this low here gets broken. EG, we're right at the bottom of the market. We have that A, B, extended wave C, like I've mentioned many times. Also mentioned last week, this is looking very corrective in here, even though we're at a low, with all that bullish divergence on the daily, you know, this can still come down and break the low again. This was looking very corrective. We got 3 up here. I've got that 1, 2, 3 up. And yeah, ideally now it comes down, breaks that low, and we can start to look for buys again after a fresh low. WTI, looking at that A, an A in here, and then an A, B, and a C. That never played out. This C down never went down and broke that low. Then I was looking at this like 1, 2, 3 here as the B wave, and then we get that A, B, C, then the A, B, C before we get the larger A, B, C. Pretty much what I've been going over for the last 12 months, probably. The H4, we got a nice impulse up. We're just waiting for that correction. Same as last week, we were waiting for that correction. We don't have that yet. It hasn't started to correct. But I'm waiting for a correction in here, and then we get an A, a B, and at least a C up. So I'm waiting for that correction. I mean, on the H1, it's looking like a flat here, like an A, a B, and a C, some sort of a flat. So we may still get more upside. But any sell setup you get, we have the bearish divergence. So any sell setup you get, you can look for the sell. You'd be selling into a correction, and you'd be targeting the 50 fib. Gold looks like it's finally starting to go. I thought I had the targets on here, but I must have removed them. So we're looking for that wave, excuse me, we're looking for that wave Z up, looking at that WXY X2, and we're looking for that Z up to the 123.6 as the first target, and that second target 161.8. It was very difficult and slow to get in this, but there were opportunities. It was really, silver was looking a lot better. Like I mentioned, we were looking for this one down to come and break that low with that bear hidden there. It didn't quite come down and break that low, this one. So this is more of a like an A, well, a WXY. You get an X2 and then a Z up. Yeah, there were a couple of opportunities to buy. For example, in here, we had that nice impulse up and started to correct, and it gave you this one up in here. Now you pretty much have to wait for that X2. You have to wait for this wave Y to be over, that WXY, and then you wait for that X2, and then you can buy it in the wave Z. The silver was a lot better, like I mentioned, because this one here, we did get the lower low. If you remember, we're up here somewhere at the weekly outlook, and I said we'd get another one down here breaking that low with that bear hidden present. That's what happened. And now we have a nice impulse up. So you got to wait for a correction to buy. Bitcoin, we had that sell in here, and that's gone. But this one here, we never got that wave Z up. I was looking for that like WXY X2, get that Z up to the two targets. Instead, price action never went and broke the ending point of wave Y. It was very much bearish last week. We had this correction in here. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the weekly outlook. So yeah, this was a sell. This was your sell here to sell. You'd be still in that sell if you're on it. There's no bullish divergence, so yeah, you'd be looking for some sort of another sell on the lower time frames. You'd be looking for some sort of an A, a B, and you could trade that C up, but then you'd be looking for a sell for more downside. S&P not going to really go over this too much. This has kept on going, and it's this will any sell setup I'll get on this basically I'll be taking. We got the 5 up on the H4, and we're just waiting for this wave Z to end basically. It's not ending, not yet anyway. But yeah, I'd be going down onto the lower time frames and looking for a nice impulse down, breaking this low here at this stage, and then if it got a sell set up, a correction, I'd look for a sell. But other than that, yeah, I can't be buying up at these highs pretty much. It's getting too high to risk buys, in my opinion. AU 200. We sort of already had that A, B, C up to the 100 pip. Excuse me. This is still looking very bullish, like I've mentioned over the for a while now. Very difficult to trade. I mean, you can see how choppy it is. It's extremely choppy. You get in and it'll take you out. But at this particular time on the low time frames, it looks very much bullish. I suppose you could give this a go for a wave Z. I mean, I'd be waiting for a correction of similar size to this over here. And you get like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you trade that 5th one up. But yeah, extremely risky. It's not worth really trading, really. The FTSE on the daily, what's this one doing? It's still looking rather corrective. We're looking for that like extended wave, 1, 2, 3, get a 4 and a 5 up in here. Yeah, that's pretty much all. Sort of waiting for this time factor here though. So yeah, pretty much waiting for that time factor. You can see how choppy it's getting. I mean, it's very much bullish, but you got to wait for an end of a structure before you can sell, before you can buy rather. So we sort of have choppy wave here, so an A, B, C, and then we already had the A, B, C. We got a nice impulse up, but it's come straight back down in here. So we want to see what's happening in here. We got this nice impulse here from a low, and then an impulse down. So if this turns corrective in here, and then gives you another one down for an A, B, C, and then gives you a bullish setup, well, then you could buy for at least an A, B, C. And ideally, if you're lucky enough, it takes off for you. The DAX on the daily, what's this happening? Yeah, like I mentioned last week, this is still looking very much bullish, and that's pretty much what's happened. It's still looking very much bullish. Would you trade it up the top here, with all the bearish divergence? Well, no, but it's still looking bullish. For the sell, you really need a nice impulse down and a sell setup, a correction, and then a sell setup to sell. Until that happens, I'll be just sitting on the sideline. And I mean, like I've mentioned, you can buy these, but more than likely, this will just break the top and then give you a deep correction, like it did here. It broke the top and gave you that deep correction. So break the top and give you a deep correction. So you're really just scalping. You pretty much have to take your profit. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.